So we're getting ready to do a finishing run here. What you see there in the pan is 5 gallons of concentrate that I'm gonna melt down, and I have another bucket full of concentrate that's frozen as well. And we're gonna combine everything and do a finishing run tonight and see how many bottles we're able to make so far. Alright, let's see if we can get this fire going here, but the hotter the better. Just keep throwing some scraps in here. We'll get that thing melted down pretty quick. There is sap in there already from a couple days ago. So as you can see, it's melting. Yeah, this is going to be about a little over 200 gallons of sap. So I've never quite done it like this before. Yeah, it's you can tell that the sap is really getting pretty condensed now. I mean, it's really bubbling over, which means it's getting really close. So I did actually get some off into the finishing pot here, and I got a little propane burner to finish it. And then I had to get it off. I was afraid that this thing was going to start overflowing on me. Like I said, previous years I've never waited. I've always finished. I've boiled sap for a day and then finished it that night. This year things were just not flowing really good. I wasn't really getting enough to warrant going through the trouble of finishing, so I was collecting it, boiling it down, then freezing it. And I'm hoping that this doesn't turn out to be a disaster. Like I said, this is my 4th year doing this, so every year I'm learning something new. Every year I make different mistakes. So I gave up on using this filter on the sap coming out of the evaporator because it's cold, and it was barely even running through the filter. I would have been out here for hours. I'm gonna filter it anyway again when it's finished, so I guess it was just kind of a waste of time. So yeah, I got one bucket, 5-gallon bucket, pretty much full, and the other one, and I still got quite a bit in the evaporator. I might actually have a 3rd bucket. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but we got quite a storm brewing here. Got a snowstorm coming in. Things are really cooling down, and some high winds. Feels like winter again, actually. So yeah, as soon as these buckets are, or as soon as the evaporator is empty, take these buckets inside and we'll get to finishing. Well, this is super disappointing. This morning I looked out the window and saw that my temporary roof on the sugar shack got completely ripped off. Shack, and now everything on the inside is totally wet. We had a huge windstorm last night, and it's been pouring rain ever since. Great. Yeah. So yeah, the bungees that I had holding down the roof, I just laid these here, and all 4 of them completely broke. I had the roof attached with bungees so that it would be easier for me to open it up without having to like untie rope. The other side I haven't been opening up this year, and I have it tied with paracord. Yeah, it's starting to snow a little bit too, and there's my little wood shed or whatever to keep my wood dry, and there's half of the roof that's completely demolished, and then what's left of the greenhouse plastic. Well, I got my temporary roof put back together for the most part. The day after noticing it was ripped off by the storm. There was a lot of snow that accumulated in here over the night, but got that all swept out, and the hickory flooring is already starting to dry. So yeah, I'm gonna leave things open tonight, leave the door open tonight, let the breeze come through, leave some of the windows cracked open, and yeah, starting to clean up the evaporator for the season. Regardless of the situation, I think I was about done anyway. The trees just were not really producing much. Like I said, I was getting maybe 5 gallons a day on 28 taps, if that. That's just not worth the effort for me. So this is about the time of the year that the trees usually stop producing for me here. It's quite possible that it's related to the trees actually healing their tap holes. It seems like after about 3 weeks maybe, the trees really stop producing like they had earlier, when I first tapped. So this season I had done an initial tapping of, I can't remember how many trees I did. I waited a couple weeks. I tapped several more trees. Waited another week, and then I went and double tapped some of the big trees that I had originally tapped. And at this point in time, pretty much everything is starting to really fizzle out. The original taps are not producing at all. They haven't been in really a couple of weeks. So yeah, I guess this is I'm gonna call it a season. Lots of lessons learned again, as usual. So I keep making improvements each and every year, and maybe eventually I'll get to the point where I don't have some sort of disaster. But yeah, it's a learning process. So if you don't like to learn and make mistakes, then maple sugaring probably isn't for you. But if you enjoy the challenge, you enjoy learning, and you're willing to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes, then this would be a good hobby to get into if you happen to have access to a bunch of maple trees.